She married him for love, but the city hides a shocking secret they never saw coming. What happens when the streets that promise dreams hide truths darker than anyone could imagine? The city lights flickered as if they were alive, breathing with a rhythm that only the night could understand. High-rise buildings cast long shadows on the narrow streets below, where life moved fast but secrets moved faster. In the midst of it all, Ada and Emeka held hands, stepping out of the taxi that had brought them home from their wedding reception. Their smiles shone brighter than the neon signs above, a perfect picture of love conquering the chaos of the city. Ada could still feel the warmth of Emeka's hand in hers, the way he whispered promises that felt like silk sliding over her skin. "We made it," he murmured, looking down at her with eyes full of hope. "Finally, just the two of us." But the city had its own plans. The couple's new apartment was on the 12th floor of a building that overlooked the heart of downtown. From their balcony, the traffic below looked like a river of golden ants, moving endlessly, unbothered by the lives it passed over. As they settled in, Ada felt a strange chill brush her neck. She dismissed it, blaming the air conditioning. But something in the silence of the apartment, the way the walls seemed to absorb their laughter, told her that this night was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks, and the honeymoon glow began to blend with the rhythm of city life. Emeka worked long hours, leaving Ada alone with her thoughts in the faint hum of the city below. That hum began to carry whispers, strange noises in the hallway, soft knocks at odd hours, shadows moving past the windows when no one was there. Ada tried to laugh it off, but the feeling that someone, or something, was watching became impossible to ignore. One evening, she followed the sound of footsteps that didn't belong to Emeka. They led her to a hidden door in the back of the apartment building, almost invisible behind the fire escape. Inside, the walls were lined with photographs, pictures of families, of couples, of children. But what made Ada's heart stop was seeing them, all of them staring directly at her, frozen in time, faces that seemed to plead silently for help. When she confronted Emeka, his smile faltered. There was a tension in his eyes she had never seen before. "You shouldn't have gone there," he said softly, but with an edge that sent shivers down her spine. "Some truths are better left buried." That night, Ada couldn't sleep. The city outside whispered secrets through the open balcony doors, secrets about the lives it had swallowed and the ones it was willing to trade. And she realized with growing horror that the love she thought she had married into might be nothing more than a mask hiding a past she was unprepared to face. But the city doesn't forgive curiosity. As days passed, Ada discovered more. Hidden messages in Emeka's letters, unusual calls he would take in private, and a mysterious neighbor who always seemed to know when she was alone. The walls of the apartment were closing in, but the city outside promised anonymity, freedom, and danger, all at once. Finally, the revelation came in the form of an envelope left under their door. Inside was a single photograph of Ada, taken from outside their window, her terrified eyes staring back at her own reflection, and a note that read, "The city remembers everything, and it never forgets those who think love will protect them." Ada turned to Emeka, expecting explanations, apologies, anything, but his face was a mask, unreadable, cold, and in that moment she understood. The city had secrets deeper than her love could reach, and some truths were designed to shatter even the strongest hearts. She realized then that surviving this city wouldn't be about love. It would be about courage, trust, and the ability to face the darkness that had been waiting patiently for them both. And as the night grew heavier, Ada made a silent promise to herself. She would uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The days that followed felt like walking through a dream that had turned sour. Ada began noticing patterns, small, almost invisible signs that something in Emeka's world didn't add up. His phone always lay face down on the table. His eyes flickered toward the door whenever someone knocked. And late at night, she sometimes heard murmurs of a conversation that stopped the moment she entered a room. She tried to tell herself it was paranoia, the stress of adjusting to city life in a new marriage. But deep down, she knew something was very wrong. The city had a rhythm, a heartbeat, and Ada could feel its pulse through the floorboards of her apartment, warning her that danger was closer than she thought. One evening, while Emeka was away on work, Ada decided to investigate the hidden door again. This time, she took a small flashlight and a notebook. The corridor smelled of damp concrete and something older, like dust layered with secrets. She pressed her fingers against the walls, tracing the photographs she had seen before. Each face told a story of despair, fear, or sudden disappearance. And then she noticed it, a small folded paper tucked behind one of the frames. It was a list of names. Some were crossed out, some circled, and one at the very top sent a chill down her spine. It was her own. Her hands shook as she held the paper. Ada's heart raced. How could her name appear here? What kind of game was this, and why was Emeka involved? She had loved him with everything she had, and now every memory felt tainted with doubt. When Emeka returned that night, Ada confronted him. The confrontation started quietly, with soft words, then escalated into a storm of accusations. "Why is my name on that list?" she demanded, her voice trembling but resolute. Emeka looked at her, his eyes dark, yet unreadable. "Ada, you don't understand," he said slowly. "I married you for love, yes, but the city has rules, rules I cannot escape. And now, you are part of it." "What rules?" Ada pressed. "The city," he whispered, "collects debts, not of money but of lives, promises, and trust. Those photographs, the names, they are people who forgot the rules or who thought love alone would protect them. You cannot hide from it, Ada. I tried, but some things cannot be undone." Ada felt as if the floor had disappeared beneath her feet. Her hands gripped the edges of the table, knuckles white. The man she had married, the man she had trusted completely, was now standing in front of her as both protector and part of the danger she had never imagined. That night, sleep evaded her completely. She sat by the balcony staring at the endless cityscape below, the lights twinkling like distant stars, but stars that hid eyes watching every move. Every shadow seemed alive. Every whisper of wind through the building sounded like a warning. And then she realized, Emeka wasn't the only secret the city held. The next morning, Ada began retracing the footsteps of the photographs on the list. Each name had a location, often forgotten corners of the city, abandoned apartments, shuttered shops, hidden stairwells. She visited one such place, an old tailor's shop in a narrow alley. Inside, the air smelled of mold and old fabric. On the counter, a faded notebook lay open, its pages filled with stories of couples, their struggles and tragedies that had ended in disappearance. And at the bottom of each page was a note. The city sees, the city remembers, the city decides. Ada's pulse quickened. This was bigger than Emeka, bigger than any single person. The city itself seemed alive, orchestrating events like a silent conductor, and she was caught in the symphony of its secrets. Yet amid the fear, she felt a spark of determination. She would not be just another forgotten name. She would uncover the truth, no matter how deep it was buried. That evening, she approached Emeka again, but this time with a plan. If the city is alive, if it controls so much, then we have to understand it. Show me everything. Tell me what you've hidden. Emeka hesitated, then sighed. You don't know what you're asking, he warned. Once you see the full truth, there's no turning back, and not everyone survives what the city has planned for them. But Ada's resolve was stronger than fear. I don't care. I trusted you. I trusted us, and I will face whatever comes. It was in that moment that Emeka revealed the history of the city, its hidden rules, and the pact he had unknowingly inherited. A pact that bound residents to secrecy, obedience, and survival. Each couple who ignored it vanished or became part of the city's invisible ledger of lost lives. And now with Ada, the city had chosen a new test, a test of love, courage, and ingenuity. The following nights were tense. Shadows moved in the hallways, whispers echoed in empty rooms, and every streetlight outside their window seemed to flicker as if warning them to leave. But leave meant danger too. Ada learned to listen to the city, to anticipate its patterns, to read the signs. And with Emeka, she navigated this dangerous web, slowly unraveling the truth that had remained hidden for generations. But just when Ada thought she could outsmart the city, the ultimate revelation came. A truth so shocking it would change everything they knew about each other. about love, and about the very streets they walked every day. The days grew heavier, and the city seemed to watch them more closely. Every passerby's glance felt like a test, every honk of traffic a warning. Ada had begun piecing together the fragments of the city's puzzle, but the final piece, the one that would explain why her name was on the list, remained elusive. One rainy evening, Emeka led Ada to an old abandoned metro station at the edge of the city. The entrance was hidden behind a crumbling brick wall, overgrown with ivy, almost as if the city itself wanted to hide it. "This is where it all began," Emeka whispered. "The city's ledger started here. Every secret, every debt, every life, it all flows from this place." Inside, the station was a labyrinth of shadows. Rusted train tracks stretched into darkness, the faint drip of water echoing like a heartbeat. Walls were covered in murals, not painted by hands but etched. Symbols, names, dates, warnings. And at the center of it all stood a massive, ancient book resting on a pedestal. Its pages glowed faintly, as if alive. "This," Emeka said, voice barely audible, "is the city's memory. Every person who entered these streets, every decision made, is recorded here. And it chooses who survives and who disappears." Ada stepped closer, her eyes scanning the glowing pages. There it was, her name alongside Emeka's, with a date circled in red. She swallowed hard, feeling her heartbeat in her throat. "Why us? Why me?" she whispered. Emeka took her hand. "Because love is rare. Love is powerful. The city tests it. If it breaks, the city claims you. If it survives, you can rewrite your fate." A sudden noise echoed through the station. Shadows moved along the walls, stretching unnaturally, whispering unintelligible words. Ada realized the city wasn't just a place. It was alive, sentient, judging them. Their love was a trial, and failure would mean erasure from the city's memory forever. For hours they navigated the station, decoding the symbols, understanding the rules, uncovering the stories of couples who had vanished and those who had survived. Ada felt fear claw at her chest, but alongside it burned determination. She would not become another lost name. Finally, at the stroke of midnight, they reached the chamber at the heart of the station. A massive mirror stood there, its surface rippling like water. "This," Emeka said, "is the final test. The city will reflect your true selves. Only those who face it together survive." Ada and Emeka stepped forward, and the mirror changed. It no longer reflected their physical forms. It revealed their fears, doubts, and hidden truths. Ada saw herself, her insecurities, her fear of abandonment, but also her courage and unwavering love for Emeka. Emeka saw his own guilt, the secrets he carried, and his hope that love could redeem him. The city pulsed around them, as if breathing, assessing. Ada squeezed Emeka's hand, their combined courage radiating outward. Slowly, the mirror's surface cleared. The shadows receded. The whispers faded. The city had accepted them, not because their love was perfect, but because it was real, strong enough to survive its test. When they emerged from the station, dawn was breaking. The city looked the same, but Ada knew it had changed. They had changed. And those secrets still lingered in the alleys and behind closed doors. They had faced the city and survived. Back in their apartment, Ada and Emeka sat together on the balcony, holding hands, watching the city wake. The traffic below no longer seemed threatening. It was alive, yes, but not malevolent. They had learned to navigate it, to respect it, and to protect each other within its vast, unpredictable rhythm. Ada whispered, "We survived the city, but now we can live in it, together." Emeka smiled, pulling her close. "Together," he echoed. The city's heartbeat continued, steady and eternal. But for Ada and Emeka, it was no longer a threat. It was simply the pulse of life, and they had learned how to dance to it. If this story gave you chills, kept your heart racing, and made you feel the city's secrets, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Timeless Tales Africa. The city is full of stories, and we have many more waiting to be told. Every street, every shadow, every heartbeat has a tale, and you won't want to miss the next one.